Hey there and welcome to Storytime. So we are continuing the little sub-series on the neighbors from hell, and this time I'm going to talk about one of the first neighbors I ever had, or the first neighbor couple I ever had, because they were the neighbors I had in my first apartment that I was living on my own. And, they were very, very weird. First of all, she was, kind of overweighted. Not kind of, she was overweighted, straight up obese. She was a fat girl, basically, or fat woman for that matter. She was a little bit older. I think she was in her mid 30s or something like that. And her guy, he was, I think, the same age, around the same age, and he was a total drunk. And this is not a story of how that guy always punched her or whatever, but he was I think it's called a forester. The guys that walk around in the forest, they cut down trees and they just look that, I don't know, the forest doesn't overgrow, whatever, He was that kind of guy. He didn't look after animals. He just, used trees, whatever. But yeah, and I think she was unemployed at the moment. And, the problem with that couple were just, they were fighting a lot. So there was a lot of, screaming all the time. And she was a very, very loud person. So sometimes I don't think they even fought. They just were talking to each other. But she was screaming so loud. And she was the kind of, fat person that never, ever wore a deodorant. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, if I'm out in the sun for maybe 2 or 3 hours and I forgot to put on deodorant, I will stink a little bit. It's just, I think that's natural. You will start to build up sweat, and the sweat isn't very nice smelling. That's that's just how nature works. So yeah, usually I use deodorant before I get out of the house, and I think that obese people have that problem a little bit more because of the fact that they are obese, they sweat faster, and I think there's probably more mass to sweat. So yeah, and she was never using deodorant, and that was just, oh my god, standing next to that woman, if there was a light summer breeze or something like that, I would just want to vomit, because oh my god, the stink, it was horrible. So horrible. And the thing was, she was a little bit flirty. Not only with me, she was flirty with every guy in town. That was one reason why they fought so often. But no one would get near that woman because, oh my freaking god, not only because she wasn't that pretty, and that's a stretch, she wasn't pretty, and she was, as I said, obese, and she didn't smell very good, and oh my god, just thinking about it, I'm getting goosebumps. That's not very nice. And as I said, he was a drunk and he was a forester, so he was working, with chainsaws, for example, and axes. And the guy that's always drunk, I think he was drinking 1 bottle of vodka every morning before he went to work, and at work he was drinking several beers, and for lunch I think he had a bottle of, is it called Jägermeister, whatever that's pronounced in English, but yeah, so he was having loads and loads of alcohol. So this guy was always walking around totally drunk, and one time I think he almost cut off his leg with a chainsaw, because he just was holding the chainsaw, was trying to start it, and the moment he started it, he almost fell over because of the fact that he was drunk. He lost the balance, and yeah, the chainsaw cut into his leg, and it was pretty bad. And he just went home after that, put a little alcohol on it, and was like, oh my god, that's fine. And he almost died because of a blood poisoning. It was that guy. And of course, whenever you were talking to that guy, he was sweating too, just because I think drunk people sweat a lot. So yeah, he was standing in front of you, and he didn't make any sense at all. He was talking a very, very, very strong accent. You could almost not tell what he was saying. But yeah, as I said, he was drunk, so he lulled a lot. It was like, you just, now imagine, that kind of language with a strong accent. There is no way to understand that. This is like, I don't know, like I imagine rednecks talking in South America, or not South America, the southern United States, whatever that's called. But yeah, it was just horrible to listen to that guy. And of course, the moment he was talking to you, he was basically blowing alcohol into your face, through his breath. It was like, you could get drunk just from talking to that guy. And, I don't drink alcohol, and I don't like the smell of, drunken people. I don't think that smells good. I don't think anyone thinks that actually smells good. But, that guy's breath, oh my god. I just wanted to throw breath mints at him, and I don't know. Oh my god, I wanted to drown in chlor or something like that, or chloroform. I don't know how it's called, but I just, oh my god, this was so freaking disgusting. And now imagine those two together. She was standing there stinking of sweat, and he was standing there stinking of alcohol. Now imagine that combination of smells. This is like one of the worst nightmares your nose could ever experience. And oh my god, I could puke just from thinking about it. So they were my neighbors. They were probably nice people, but oh my god, it was just the smell alone. And of course, sometimes they had a computer, for example, and they had to get over there and fix it. They were both heavy smokers, so their place was just reeking of old cigarettes and the smoke of old cigarettes, and of course of alcohol and her sweat. Can you imagine how that place smelled? If you just pause the video for a second and imagine that for 1 minute, you will probably puke. You will have to vomit. There is no way around that. I was so glad every time I was out of that apartment. They could have been the nicest couple that has ever walked this earth, but that smell, that stink, and that alcohol, and I couldn't bear that. No. I was so happy when I finally moved out of there, and I had never had to see them again. I think they broke up a couple of months after I left. I have no idea why. Maybe the flirting of the wife, and maybe she actually got to bang someone, or maybe he just drank himself into oblivion and couldn't remember her name. I have no idea, but that was such a disgusting couple. So yeah, that was it for this week's episode of Storytime. I'm gonna puke now. If you enjoyed it, let me know with a comment and a like. And as I said, that was it. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm iLostLink, puking out.